Othello was released on the Atari 2600 by Atari in 1981. It's based on the board game of the same name, where the object is to take your opponent's pieces, or actually flipping their pieces, since all the game pieces are double-sided with a dark side and a light side. The game starts out with only 4 pieces on the board, 2 of each color, and you play a move by placing a new piece on the board, but it has to form a line of their pieces while your piece bookends the line with 1 on each side, without any interruptions in the middle, and you flip all the pieces in between. The game keeps going until the entire grid is filled, and whoever has the most pieces wins. It's very simple on paper. There are some variations, like whether or not you have time control or a reverse version where the objective is to have less pieces at the end of the game. But in general, there aren't really any bells or whistles with this game. That being said, it's still quite strategic. You don't want to let your opponent get the edges, particularly the corners, because that'll basically lock in at least one line. But even if you're only left with moves that are less than optimal, it's too bad you gotta make one, unless you have no legal moves whatsoever, and then you can pass your move on to them. But how does this translate to an Atari 2600 game? Just fine, really. Like I said, the game is very simple, without much in the way of bells and whistles, so as long as the core mechanics are there, then you can't ask for much more. Visually, it checks all the boxes, with the white and black pieces over the green board being recognizable to the game's color scheme, and the tokens are distinguishable enough. It would have been neat if the pieces flipped in a cooler animation, but whatever, that's just eye candy. The controls for a game like this can very easily be taken for granted, but I've seen some games that should have had simple navigation and functional controls, but they didn't, for whatever reason. This is not one of those cases. Everything's responsive and functional. There are 3 difficulty settings, plus a 2-player mode, and I would say that the AI for the computer opponent is a good challenge, but that might just be because I suck at this game. Even when I think I'm starting out well, I screw the pooch and cough up whatever lead I had going. While Othello is a consistent source of frustration for me personally, I can still recognize it as a solid game that works because of its simplicity, not in spite of it. These kind of games really only work in video game form for early consoles like the 2600, and it's hard to call it a great game just because of how little content there is. And I know there's not much else that they could have added, although they really could have included the time limit option, but at the end of the day, it is what it's supposed to be. And if you want a video game adaptation of Othello, this is exactly what you're looking for.